been a hard year for tech. There's no two ways about it. Inflation has stayed stubbornly high, startup funding has slowed down significantly, and we haven't seen the end of the energy crisis. We're clearly in a different economic climate, and many parts of the developed world appear to be headed for a recession. Whatever happens next year, it's clear that founders have to adapt for leaner times. What does this mean? It means getting serious about revenue efficiency and reducing non-essential spending. Revenue efficiency, that means producing similar or greater revenue with fewer dollars or euros or pounds. Where you have inefficiency in how you're working today, finding ways to fix that. Are you building things in-house that clearly you should be outsourcing? How can you whittle down your priorities and eliminate non-core projects? And then on the non-essential spending, it's time we all get real. Startups have been offering Google-like perks for years in an attempt to attract top talent. But is top talent really interested in joining a company for the perks or because it's a great business? So let's get the great business part right first, and then later you can think about what kind of coffee you're serving in the office. Being serious about revenue efficiency and getting spending under control, that's never a bad thing. It's just the fundamentals of good business. Now, I don't want to sound all doom and gloom here. In fact, there's loads of reasons to be optimistic about European tech. First of all, European companies have adjusted quickly to the new reality. And companies like Klarna, Celonis, Alma, Doctolib, Alan, many others, they're growing fast despite a bleak economy. Secondly, the fundamentals of European tech are really strong. European talent pool is excellent. There's almost 50% more software developers here in Europe than there are in the US, and that number is growing faster. And European policymakers are trying to help. The second Payment Services Directive, PSD2, and the passporting regime, that's what Stripe uses, those have made it easier for fintechs to get started in Europe than anywhere else in the world, and that's why we're such a fintech hub. Stock options taxation has improved quite a bit thanks to the push of the not optional movement. France is a good example of a country where the treatment is now night and day compared to where it was 10 years ago. And now there's plenty of experienced European tech founders to learn from. When me and Patrick started Stripe 10 years ago, there was no Irish tech giant to look up to, whereas today, there's literally hundreds of ambitious European tech companies to go to for advice. Now, we shouldn't take any of this for granted. And in fact, we should be doing everything we can to help European startups move faster. And there's still a lot more we could do. We spend time with all our European customers, and we recently ran a survey. 2 out of 3 businesses tell us that they would grow much faster if the European market was more harmonized. And you might wonder, where is that? Well, harmonization could improve things in quite a few areas. We're in a single European market, and yet access to funding and talent is still hard if you're operating across multiple countries. We train tens of thousands of software engineers every year in Europe, but most of them don't step foot in a tech company until after university. PSD2 has existed since 2015, and yet a pan-European payment method in Europe is still just theory. And Europe has incredibly ambitious carbon neutrality goals, but there's no incentive to help climate tech companies go to market quickly. Fixing these and more could have an enormous impact on the future of European tech. But in times like this, I worry they'll fall to the bottom of the pile on policymakers' desks. And that would be a huge mistake. Because we've still only explored a fraction of the internet's potential. And Google and Amazon and Facebook and all these companies, they emerged from the ashes of the dot-com bust. I mean, Stripe itself was founded not long after the global financial crisis. And there's no doubt many great European companies that will rise from this recession. So, instead of debating whether it's the end of tech's golden era or anything like that, why don't we all work harder to give the next generation of European founders a chance to win?